Says live stream isn't available right now.
What?
Hang on, I'm working on it.
There we go. Hey, everybody. All right. So I don't know what the hell's going on here. I got a lot of feedback. Hey, there we go. Got it. Good evening, Munchie Mafia. I'm Sibby, and this is our first live. I'm a real stupid dork sometimes, so just give me a break, okay? All right. So I had to sharpen my knife, and let's see, how many people do we have in here? We have 9 so far. Okay. Just so that everybody knows, Captain Brian and Tiger are our moderators, and so is Timmy. And you're not going to see Timmy much at all because he doesn't like to be on camera. And the other thing that I want to say is thanks a lot to Derek of the Food Boat. I've got his shirt on today. Logo. My name. And also to Andy at the Menorcan Mullet. And Mason Hefner and Polish Cha-Cha. If you get a chance, go and take a look. There's some links on my page. So let's see. We could get started if you want, or we could just sit around and just chit-chat. But I got all the stuff already lined up here. We got pickled red onions. I cut those in advance because I didn't want to have to, take forever to do that. So I did save one to show how to get this all nice and cut up. So I don't want to smell like onions. And I'm probably going to be crying and cussing a whole lot because these onions are pretty darn strong. And just so you know, if some of you don't know, we live in Washington State. We live in the shadows of Mount Rainier in a little tiny historic town called Wilkeson. And we have a total population of about 560 people. So we just take that, pitch it into the bowl. So we're going to cut the top off, and then we're going to cut the bottom off. But we want to make sure that we get all the core out. Sometimes I always miss it. Actually, all the time I always miss it. So I always end up making a big mess, more than I need to. So now that we got from top to bottom, we're going to cut it in half, just like so. And then I always get rid of that because it's just faster. Let's see, get that out of the way. And then we're going to get this one done. There we go. And get my garbage bowl right here. Get all this garbage out of there because nobody wants to eat the skins, right? Okay, so there's that. So is anybody taking a bet on whether or not I'm going to set my hair on fire today? All right, so we don't want to cut them too thin, but we also don't want them too thick. And let's talk about knife safety for a moment. When you're holding a knife, it's kind of like shaking hands. You want to put it in your hand and hold it like that. You don't want to put your finger up there. You want to hold it. It's an extension of your hand, okay? And when you're cutting something, make sure that you make a claw, kind of like that. I don't know if you can see that very well. Can you guys see that? Like that. Let the knife rest on your knuckle. Ow, that hurt. Okay, so we're just going to keep going. Flip it over that way, and now we got onions going all over the place, just like so. And we're going to just add that to our bowl of stuff that I already pre-cut. And go to the next one. Now, what I have here is about 6 very large onions. Usually when I make them at the restaurant, I make about 20 quarts. So I have to modify the recipe just a little bit. Mine's a little bit different from everybody else's in that I do it a little bit differently. Okay. There we go. All right, so what we want to do is we put the bowl back over here. We're going to go in and we're just going to kind of fluff it up a little bit. We're going to just kind of take some of it apart just to make sure that all the little juliennes are nice and neat and we don't have weird pieces like that. There's another one. Now there's a funny story about this. I used to make these at some of the restaurants that I worked at, and the last one that I worked at, my bartenders were stealing all the containers and hiding them in the bar walk-in because they were so addicted to them. And one day I had to go in and get something, I think it was fruit, for something that I was making, and they had a stash, these quart containers, those deli quart containers. They had them hidden behind the beer. And I kind of laughed a little bit, but I was also a little bit upset because I couldn't figure out where all my onions were going. Well, now I know where they're going. They were taking them all. So I had to ask them to please, if they want onions, if they want extra onions, just let me know, but don't take the whole thing, because this really isn't something that I like to do every single day, because vinegar always makes me choke, and onions always make my eyes water horribly. So these are jalapenos. Usually I put a lot more, but Timmy doesn't like spicy things. So we don't put a lot of them in there. And I like to cut them on the bias just because they look prettier that way. All right, there's that one. And a lot of it's for flavor too. So there we go. And we're going to go after this one. Whoopsie. That one almost ran off to the floor. Come back here, you. Oh, God, I just got squirted in the eye. Oh. Wow. Okay. All right, so now we got all that going. I'm going to get this stuff out of the way because I'm not going to need this anymore. Put that in the sink. Come back over here. All right, so now we got our pot. We got a big pot. And normally, I would be buying this stuff by the gallon, but unfortunately every store in the area is out of red wine vinegar. For this amount of onions, it's going to be about a half of a gallon, give or take. So I kind of had to do it this way. Oops, ding. Now, a lot of other recipes, they say use white vinegar or apple cider vinegar or a combination of the two. I like red wine vinegar, mostly because what I like to do is I like to recycle the vinegar into vinaigrettes. And not all that fond of the apple cider vinegar. Okay, so now we got that going. Let's see, I'm done with those. All right. So what I like to do is I like a lot of garlic in mine. This is about 24 cloves of garlic. Get in there. All right. And 2 tablespoons of pickling spice. 1 tablespoon of dill weed. And then the ratio of sugar to salt is 2 to 1 sugar to salt. So we're going to start off with 1 cup of sugar. It's just regular white sugar. And I've never tried it with any of the sugar substitutes. It just seems kind of weird. Some of those things can really leave a really nasty taste in the mouth. So weird aftertaste. That's a 3/4. That's a 2/3. Okay, where's my half? my God, where's my map? There it is. Next. Okay, so we got 1 cup of the sugar. Now we're going to put 1/2 cup of kosher salt. This is a crappy kosher salt. I'm not all that fond of this brand. It's hard to find things out here in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so now we're just going to take it over to the stove. And we're going to turn it on high. I'm going to let it do its thing. Clean up my mess a little bit here. All right, how's everybody doing so far? Am I going too fast? Everybody doing okay? Is the sound doing right? Sounds good? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, me too. Except for I just ate. But I'm still hungry. I'm always hungry. Always hungry. So, kosher salt. Oh. Wreck-It Ralph's in the house. Okay, so pickling spice and dillweed. I'm just going to get that out of the way. Just so we have more space. Take these over there just in case I need them. So we had to do a whole lot of things with the lighting in this kitchen because this is a 124-year-old house. And our lighting is not the greatest. One of these days we're going to have to do something with the lighting because half the time I can't see what I'm doing. Really a lot of fun when I trip over a cat or something, you know. Some of our cats blend in with the floor. So let's take a look and see what everybody's doing, what everybody's saying. Oh. And I'm going to have this on my blog. The recipe is going to be on the blog. The link is www.chefcivvy.com. So I'll have that available to you guys later. Hopefully tonight. Maybe not tonight. Maybe tomorrow. If I don't get it up there by tomorrow, just pop me a message and I'll be like, dude, you know, I don't know. So one of the things that I was thinking about showing you guys is my toolbox. I've got this toolbox. This is part of my toolbox that I usually carry around with me everywhere I go. And it's full of stuff. Of course, it's a mess right now because I had to pack up my stuff really quickly. All my knives are down in there. All my random, this is kind of like my junk drawer, this top one here. And let's see here. Oh, and I got my food boat stickers on here. More tools. Even more tools. And even more tools. I also have another one that's for baking and pastry, but it's not nearly as pretty and neat as this big rolly thing. Let's see here. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Derek, for the sticker. I really love it. Been wanting to decorate this thing with stickers. I've only had this for like a year. I think I got it for Christmas last year because I was complaining about not having enough places to put all my tools because my car looked like a catering truck blew up in it. It's just crazy. It's like plates and platters and this and that, my smoking gun and stuff like that. I can't even fit my smoking gun in there, so I need a bigger toolbox. So I'm probably going to have to get 2 more boxes. So let's go check our stuff here. I hear noise coming from it. All right. What I'm hoping to do at some point is to hook up some other cameras up to the ceiling so that we can actually look directly down at the pot. It's either that or get one of those single induction burners and put it on my prep table here. And the reason why my prep table is a commercial prep tables because eventually I'm going to have this kitchen remodeled. And it's kind of been a running joke about the kitchen remodel. I talk about that a lot. It's like, oh, waiting for Timmy to give me my kitchen remodel. Oh, and here's our dog. Hi, dog. I don't know if you can see her. Can you see her? Do you see her, Timmy?
Yeah.
Yeah? This is Dory. She's got a fancy little sweater on tonight. It's very cold out here. It's only 12 degrees. We've got snow. I don't know if it goes all the way out into town or not, but so I haven't been out of the house in a couple days. I was just hanging out in my onesie and just being Martha Stewart. Just taking a break from all the nonsense that I had to put up with for a while and just doing my thing. All right, so this is just steaming. We want to make sure that it gets boiling because there's just a method to my madness on this. A lot of other recipes say just take it to just steaming and then dump it in there and let it sit there for a long time, and then next thing you know it, you end up with limpy pickled red onions. I like mine with a little bit of a bite to it still, so I get it boiling and then I'll show you how I do it. But I put it in a bowl, stir it up, wait till it turns colors, and we'll see how it turns colors. I don't know if you could see down into the bowl or not. Can you see down into the bowl?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. Oh, let's see what's everybody's saying here. All right. Oh, so anyway. This is coming along here in just a little bit. I just need to get another bowl real quick. Sorry about the noise, guys. All right. Ice. Oops. Hey, can you pass me a spoon?
Big spoon.
A little spoon. My mouth isn't that big, contrary to popular belief. All right. Oh, God. All right, so as it's doing its thing, give it a taste, see if it's as sweet as you want it. Some people like it a little sweeter. Some people like it a little bit more salty. I'm very sensitive to the taste of salt, so I always undersalt things. So I'm just going to put a little bit extra in there. So. And I'm using 1/8 of a cup here. 2 to 1. Now the funny thing is about this is, as it sits overnight, the garlic will start to turn like a greenish blue color. It's kind of funny in that regard. People are like, "What? Why is it that color?" Well, it's because it's acid that's in there that's changing the color. But they're still good, nonetheless. I can eat garlic all day. I don't think anybody wants me to eat garlic all day. And ends up making me all stinky and stuff. Okay. So that's doing its thing. Yeah, Tiger wants you to wave. Being Mr. Steven Spielberg over there. All right. Be right back. Ha! Stool. All right. So now we got boiling. Should probably turn this off, huh? And try not to breathe unless you like coughing to death. Okay. So there. Oh boy. Wow, that's really biting me. Okay. All right. So now we're just going to pour it in there. Try not to breathe over the pot. That vinegar will definitely get you. Yeah. Shoot. There's a camera in my sink. So. Okay. So what's going to happen is now that this is very hot, we're going to start to see these onions going from a purple to almost a bright pink kind of amethyst color. And that's the color that we're looking for. So we're just going to push it around, try to splash yourself, which I've done thousands of times before. Try to break that up. Can you guys see this all right? How are we doing? Okay. And see, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's starting to turn that bright pink hue. Oh, wow. Sorry, I didn't mean to cough in your ear. Okay. So, just give it another minute. All right. Now, the reason why I do it this way is that I like to make sure that they don't go too far. So I take the ice.
And throw it on the floor.
Throw it on the floor so that I can slip on it later. So my kitchen name is Wreck-It Ralph, and there's a reason. It's because I'm very accident prone. All right. Just stirry, stirry, stirry. See that pretty color? Now tomorrow, they'll look even better. But these will be ready to rock and roll. They're not going to be at their best by the time it gets completely cooled down. Might need a little bit more ice. Maybe. All right. No, that's fine. So these are really good in salads and also as garnish for things like um, burgers, hot dogs, street tacos, just about anything. Um, anything, especially if you need something that's wow, got some color to it. Um, need color. This is a great way to add color to a dish, especially salads, and they're very addictive. Uh, so there we go. That's that. Let's see how we're doing over here. So we were going to also talk about um, some gluten-free cookies, and part of my problem is that I forgot to order my flour. Um, so we'll just talk about it, and that's going to be for the next episode, I think. Because stupid me, I forgot it's playoff weekend, so we're not going to be doing another live tomorrow. Maybe later in the week. We'll see how things go. I keep forgetting that the cat litter box talks. Thought I heard a voice in my bathroom. Let's see here. Yes, and Chow Chow. Um, and yes, every barbecue joint, even around here, they use them too. Um, so when it comes to gluten-free cookies, and I'm not pushing any kind of diet agenda on anybody because that's not what I'm here for. There are people that do suffer from gluten allergies and intolerances where it causes inflammatory responses in their bodies, and the next thing you know, they're just suffering. Um, Gluten-free has come a long way over the decades, but it still has a little bit more to go because sometimes those things they just taste like pieces of sadness. The texture isn't quite there. But what do you do for people that have celiac? It's not supposed to be a punishment. It's got to taste good. So for about a year and a half, I worked on developing my own gluten-free cookie recipes that sold really well in Enumclaw for quite a while. And I actually got called a liar. They were like, "These don't taste like gluten-free." I'm like, "That's because of the ratios that I use." And there's no real one size fit all as far as gluten-free flours are concerned. What I like to do is I like to take various different types of flours, and I have my own ratios. And the next episode, we'll get to see all those. Oh, but yeah, let's just knock the bowl off the counter. Um, we'll take a look at all that, and we'll go through and make a batch of cookies. And what I'll do is that's going to be like a two-part thing because the dough does have to sit overnight to refrigerate, or else some of the flours don't break down well enough if they're baked the same day. So the next one, we'll talk more about the chemistry behind the ratios and whatnot. So I'm sorry about that. Stupid me, busy with everything else, just totally forgot. But yeah, you'll get used to it. I'm forgetful all the time. So let's see how everything's doing. Said the color and texture, Derek, but I don't know if that's a preference or specific. The color and texture. That is the objective, yes. So Derek is asking, wouldn't that be the objective? To get the gluten-free product to taste as close to the real deal as possible? Yes. That's exactly what the problem is with a lot of commercial products that's out there. It's like, if you go out and buy a loaf of bread, it's like it doesn't taste like bread. Cookies, they just don't have that same crumb texture that you would find in a cookie, in a regular cookie. They're almost kind of gritty, especially if they've been sitting out for a few, sitting for a few days. The longer they sit, the more grainy the texture becomes, and nobody really likes that a lot. So with my ratio, I've cut that down now. Of course, after day 4, day 5, the texture starts to go a little wonky. But let's be realistic here. Who lets cookies sit for a week? It's, yeah, not in this house. I mean, fat kid here. So anyway, so let's see here. What's the other questions? Nothing is gluten-free, my friend. You're right. Nothing has no gluten. Nothing. Literally, nothing. There is such a thing as gluten-free. Asking about the ice. The reason why the ice is in there is to shock it so that it takes it stops it from cooking. Because once when you dump boiling hot water in there, or hot liquid in there, it continues to soften the onion. So when you shock it, it stops it right at that point. So you don't end up with lumpy things. This one's actually pretty good. See, very good. Not ready yet, but very good. Tomorrow, be banging, man. Be on fire. All right. Yes, Brian, it does change the pH. It also makes it less acidic, slightly, but I'm not canning them, so they just make them. They're gone in a few days. These can sit in the refrigerator for up to 3 weeks. Refrigerated, okay? Refrigerated. And Derek says, I can't let cookies sit for an hour, let alone a few days. Yeah, same here. Same here. I freaking love cookies. I saw on your compilation about the comments on the cookies. That was pretty funny because I was laughing. I'm like, yeah, here too. Here too. Right. No botulism. Nobody wants botulism. Let's see. Yes, Harvey, this is an 8-inch knife, and this one is a Wusthof. I also have other knives in my collection. I've got, where are all my things going? Okay. I also have this baby. It's Dalstrong. And these ones are Mercer's. Let's see here. This is my vegetable cleaver. It's a rocker. It's known as a rocker cleaver. It's also a very, very dangerous object on this end. This one's Rhineland. And let's see here. What else do I have? Another Dalstrong. Got a sashimi knife. That's actually a left-handed knife. This one's by Mercer. Let's see here.
Show them your peeler.
What?
Show them your peeler.
Oh, my peeler? Yes. This Actually, this one's the knockoff of the
Oh, you don't have
Titan peeler. No, I don't take my Titan peeler out of the house
Oh,
because
okay.
if I did, they would disappear. That's why I buy the cheap knockoffs, because I'm not going to spend 20 something odd dollars on a peeler that somebody's going to steal because they love it too much. So anyway, this is the knockoff of the Titan peeler. I don't like this thing. I'm probably going to throw it in the trash before too long. Oh, Timmy's handing me the real Titan peeler. It's got my Hello Kitty tape on it. At one time, I did take it to work, but I had to actually fight somebody for it that decided to sneak it into their knife kit. So that's why it's got Hello Kitty tape on it, because who's going to steal something with Hello Kitty tape on it, right? Well, lo and behold. Oh, let's see here. I got a bunch of other random ones. And then my house knives, these ones are Gunter Wilhelm. Not all that fond of those. I have to go take those in and have the edges reworked. Let's see here. So that is my wonderful tool case that I have to rearrange at some point. So, yeah. And down here I keep spatulas of all kinds. That's my gnocchi board. Thermal gun. Spatulas, spoons, thermometer. I don't know why some of my baking and pastry stuff is in there, but it is. Like somebody helped themselves and put it in the wrong toolbox. Crate stuff.
You got questions?
And other things, sometimes things in triplicate that used to be in the house. I don't know why it's in there, but okay. Well, I find 5 more of those in the bottom of my toolbox. All right, so let's see here. Botulism with honey. I'm not really sure about that. Love to hear my thoughts on the fad a while back with fermented hot honey. It looked delicious, but there was a lot of comments about the dangers of botulism. I don't really know too much about honey and botulism. I mean, when you think about it, it could. Because it's the right breeding ground for it. How long will the onions sit before the fridge? I don't know. Should probably put them in the fridge. Yeah. All right.
Better clear spot.
Got to clear a spot because I just went grocery shopping. Oh, hello, ice. All right. Let's see here. Oops. Crap. I didn't think this through. What the hell? Honey, why didn't you tell me that? You should have warned me about this. Well, where are you going to put it in the fridge? Okay. Shit. Wine rolls almost went swimming. Okay, I'm back. All right. I'm back. Let's see here. Infused oils. Infused oils can oftentimes pose botulism risk. When it comes to infused oils, you should probably keep them refrigerated, especially if it's got garlic in it. My prep station. This came off of Amazon, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So, yeah, I'll have to have Timmy look that up because he was the one that bought it for me. I was thinking about actually redoing all the countertops in this kitchen with stainless steel. But then I thought, wait a minute, that's going to be freaking expensive, especially when I want to put in more counter space and more cabinet space. The way my kitchen is laid out, it's a very old kitchen. And it just kind of, I don't know.
Derek just sent me the recipe he's talking about.
The what?
The recipe that he's talking about.
Which recipe?
The honey.
Oh, the honey?
Yeah. I mean, it's a link to it, but.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll take a look at it later. I just never heard of honey causing botulism, but I could see how that could, because the right things have to be in place in order for botulism to occur, and that's why health department around here, they don't want us doing certain things in restaurants, like doing our own canning or using a sous vide and using vacuum sealers. We're not allowed to do that stuff because of foodborne contamination and foodborne illness. So we're not allowed to do those sort of things around here. But then again, the state's a little wonky when it comes to anything that's got to do with the health department or Department of Labor and Industries and whatnot. Because at one point I wanted to have a food truck, but all the rules were just stupid. Still wanting a food truck, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Let's see here. What's the other question? Oh, you guys are all Googling it. No, TRP, it's not a $500 table.
No, 284. I'm trying to find the link for it.
Timmy's trying to find a link for it. He thinks it was like $284, what he's thinking. But then again, if you go to like a restaurant supply store that sells scratch and dents, I don't know if you have a Bar Green Ellingson around, but Bar Green Ellingson often sells scratch and dent stuff. You can also check out the government auction site, and sometimes they have like these sort of things laying about for pennies on the dollar that have been taken out of circulation from schools or colleges or something like that. Even universities sometimes have surplus websites and surplus stores. So always check those out first before going and buying a brand new one. Unless, of course, it is coming from a morgue or something like that. You probably wouldn't want that in your kitchen, right? Let's see here. Harvey, I don't know which knife you're talking about. Are you talking about my Wusthof or something else? I don't know. Great. The animals are awake. There goes Winston. Winston is my 17-year-old ginger kitty, and he's the one with the murder mittens. He's got huge paws, extra toes, extra toes, and we think that he's got like some weird feline dementia or something. He's been doing weird things. He decided that he was going to turn on the voice lounge on Alfred's channel at the Chit Show Discord, and yeah, I guess everybody could hear everything that was going on in my house for a few hours. So that was fun today. Tiger sent me a text message. Do you know that we can hear what's going on in your house? I'm like, what are you talking about? And so now we got something funny to some funny memory about my first live being on Alfred's Chit Show Discord voice chat lounge. And everybody being able to hear what's going on in my house. And I didn't know what the hell was going on, but lately he's been jumping up on my keyboard and playing with things on my desk and hitting things that he shouldn't. He actually deleted a document that I was working on for like 6 days. And one time he sent a message in a different Discord server that was like, just random characters for like paragraphs worth. It's just crazy. So yeah, thank goodness he went away because he's been really really needy lately. All the cats have been trying to jump up on the counter all day. Oh my god! All right, so what else is going on? Yeah, that's true, Derek. We haven't seen the big 30-pound monster yet, though. I don't think. Have you seen him? He's the Siamese looking thing, but he looks like a giant walking loaf of bread, uh, with hair.
Yeah, I can't find it.
Can't
I
find.
can find it. I can't figure out how to link it.
Um,
But
why is that?
all you gotta
Why
do
is
is
that
search
thing
for it
spinning?
because that's what it does.
Oh, okay. I can't see that far. My glasses are in the car, so I'm not even sure if I'm even looking at the camera at this point. I think I am. Uh, Care to tell short story? What made you become a chef? Uh, yes, actually, my father was a chef. He had a cafe in the Pike Place Market, and he was an interesting sort. He was 61 when I was born. I was the youngest kid. Got other siblings, but I don't know them. I think some of them aren't even dead by now. Let's see. He had a clam chowder recipe that he served in his restaurant, and it. There's been a debate as to whether or not it could be the so-called original Pike Place Market clam chowder, because this was back in the old days, um, and so my dad gave me a set of cookbooks that he got from the grocery store. They were like, you get the first one free, and then if you spend like $25 or something at the grocery store, you can buy the next volume for like $1.25 or something. It was this encyclopedia. It was like, with the indexes, it was like 30 books in total. And um, this was back when I was like maybe 9 or 10. And I thought to myself, these are the coolest things in the world that I've ever seen. I mean, this is even better than regular, like Encyclopedia Britannica or something, I was so fascinated. Plus, we used to watch Julia Child on television after school. And then after that was done, we'd watch cartoons together. And he's like, well, pick something from the book. And this was like a couple years later. I was probably about 10 maybe. Let's pick something from the book, one of the books. And I'm like, okay. And stupid me, I really didn't think too much of it. I decided that I was going to pick beef stroganoff. Beef stroganoff was the first dish that I ever cooked. And my dad, I thought that my dad and I were going to actually be cooking together, but no, that wasn't his idea. His idea was sitting at the dining room table and watching boxing and instructing me on how to cut this and how to trim up the meat and how to do this and how to do that, and then he would supervise, but then go run back over to the television, check out the boxing, and then I remember after everything was done, there was a lot of tears. I probably nicked myself about 4 or 5 times, and my dad was eating it, and he was like, you're a very good cook. You're going to be a chef someday. And and I remember looking over at my mother and waiting for her to say something that was validating, and the only thing she could say was too much or not enough salt, is what she said. That's exactly what she said. Not enough salt. Um, and that's where she left it. And so um, I thought that was just the coolest thing, that I could be like my dad. That's basically what I wanted to do. Is I wanted to be like my dad, and because he was just the coolest person. He fished. We used to go fishing all the time, and um, go clam digging when the tide was low. And yeah, we had great times. I really miss him. He died back in 2002. He was 93. He had brain cancer. Um, now it was really hard, but at the same time, he lived a really, really long, very happy life. So um, that kind of gave me some sort of comfort, knowing that he had a good life. So that's that. It's like we got into chowder competitions and won lots, and then got banned from the chowder competition. Actually, he did, and then so he had me enter because I was the only one that knew his recipe, and I won a few. Um, and then as I got older, it's like I was like so. I remember seeing culinary school commercials on the television, and I remember saying, I want to go to culinary school, and my dad stopped thinking that it was cute that I wanted to be a chef, and he's like, no, I don't really want you doing this, and so I'm like, why? And he goes, well, girls aren't treated right in kitchens, and I don't want you having to go through that. And I never really fully understood it until when I got my first kitchen job. I was 14. I was working for a nursing home as a cook and a caregiver. I was doing both things. Back then, they didn't have the training that they do now. They didn't acquire licenses or anything like that. Um, and I realized kind of what he meant by that. And I remember going through the motions and trying to make it work, and it didn't work. It didn't work because I realized my dad was right. Girls are not treated properly in the kitchens. So I decided to pursue computer technology. So I worked in computer technology for a few years, and was like, I don't like doing this. I hate doing this. People are treating me horribly. I remember having to deal with customers saying, well, or clients saying that I need to speak to a technician. And I'm like, well, I am a computer technician. Well, no, I need to speak to a manager. I'm like, I am the manager. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase this. I need to speak to a man. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So I decided I'm stepping out. But I didn't want to have to start all over again. I didn't want to have to go and start in the dish pit and then have to work my way up to the garmage station and then have to go all the way up that way. I figured I know enough about the foundations that I should be able to you know do something else other than just pastry chef. It's like I didn't like being called cupcake. Or wouldn't you rather just be over in pastry? No, not really. It was kind of forced on me. So I decided to go to culinary school decades later as a 40-something-year-old, 42-year-old, I think, 43. I don't know. I was in my early 40s and decided I love this. I miss this, and that's pretty much it. And then I just started just going up the ladder and up the ladder and up and up and up and up. Had some great jobs, had some crappy jobs, had some really shitty jobs. Um, yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I've had everything from dishwasher all the way up to culinary director, director of dining and nutrition services specifically. So I hope that answers the question, even though we had to go, you know, on this really weird path to get there. So,
We're almost to an hour.
and how are we doing? Do, 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 do. Yes, Mike, most badass chefs are females. The reason why is because, they say that women aren't strong enough to be able to do this. They are too emotional. Um, and that's not actually true. I've seen some very emotional men working with men. Um, they're, and yeah, so yeah. I think I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to go on a tangent. Um, new job update. Still waiting to find out if my background check has gone through yet. Still waiting on that. It's a hurry up and wait thing, so I'm just waiting it out. Figured, hey, you know, let's get this party started, right? Burn down this kitchen. Yeah, or something. So that's why I decided, you know what, I've got all this extra time on my hands. Let's go for it. Let's just go for it and see how things go. Is that a Kraken 94 in the glass? No, it's not. It's Crown Cola. It's that. I'm out of Kraken. But what I do have, that's really good.
It's outside.
It's outside, yeah.
Mhm.
But I also have this. This one's actually quite good. It's called Sazerac and Rye. That one, this one's good. I've been working on that bottle for about 5 months now. So, just so you know, I don't have a drinking problem. Let's see here. So that's the job update. But no Kraken. Because you bought it all, Tiger. You bought it all. You bought it all. You won't even share.
We're at an hour.
Huh?
We're at an hour.
So anyway, we are just about at an hour, so I think we might be cutting it off. Any last minute questions? Do I have a good French onion soup? Yes, I do. I also have a bad French onion soup. But yes, if you'd like, I could add that to the agenda, or maybe we'll do that on another one because it's wintertime and kind of soup is good. Yeah. One of my favorite ones is it's a French onion soup, but it also has a little bit of cream in it, so it's a creamy French onion soup. And I smoke the onions, and then what I'll do is I'll caramelize them and then stick them in the smoker and let them get happy for a little bit. use a pretty light wood chip. I think I've been using apple wood chips for that one. Do I make gumbo? Yes, but I really don't make it as well as my sous chef does. So, I mean, mine's okay. It's just okay. But yes, I've made gumbo. I think part of my problem with it is that I'm not getting my roux dark enough for that. So let's see here. Asked how Timmy and I met.
On the next episode.
On the next episode.
It's time to go.
He's saying that an hour is enough. So I will share that the next time. Let's remember that one for the next time. Let's just put a little note in our head. And so, Munchie Mafia, I hate to say goodnight, but gonna miss you guys already.
You'll see them on Discord.
You guys have a good night, and I'll see you all on Discord. Night, everybody. Are you having problems?
Yeah.
What have you done?
How do you shut it down?
Take a look here.
Try clicking on the picture. Nope. It's on.
Yeah, it's still on. What have you done? You broke it. Why is it? About dashboard. I think you broke it, guys.
It's back here.
Yeah. Bonus footage. Hi. Tiger, help. I'm blinking twice, man. What did you just click on?
Show controls.
Hit that right there. There is no end of stream. It's just... All right, here. Let me see something a second. Oh, wait. I see what the problem is, right? Let's see here. Where is it? Try closing the browser. I don't know. Okay. So. All right, stream. Don't have access to that feature. Why? All right, let's take a look here. Is this my phone or your phone?
Mine.
Yeah, just close the browser, see what happens. Oh, wait a minute. Can I see that for a second? Do.
You're on your own, kid.
All right, John. You want to help?
You gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay, you go to the bathroom. No, I did not say you, Tim. I said John. John SS said. Yeah. Okay. It's saying I don't have access to the